Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm bringing you a very big September book haul. Now, I wasn't planning on buying a lot of books throughout September, but as you can tell by the thumbnail, I somehow managed to purchase quite a bit. As per usual, I am going to timestamp this video, so if you are only interested in certain genres, then you can skip the rest of the books and just focus on the specific ones that you want to see. But you guys know me, there are a lot of fantasy books in this one. We have a murder mystery, we have a middle grade book, and I also have some Disney books as well. Before diving into the video though, please do check to make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Around half of the people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed, so I would really appreciate if you could take 2 seconds to click the subscribe button down below to join my little corner of the internet. It really does help me out and it does help more people to find this channel as well. Don't worry guys, I'm not going to talk any longer. I know you're desperate to see which books I've bought, so without further ado, let's just dive into the haul. I am of course kicking off this haul with some adult high fantasies, starting with Fool's Quest and Assassin's Fate, both by Robin Hobb. These are the last two books in Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderling series, which is a 16-book series. I have actually finished these books now and I honestly don't know what to say. They absolutely destroyed me, but I had the most amazing time reading them, and both of these ones are actually new favourites. Assassin's Fate is definitely up there with my favourite books of all time. It just completely broke me, but yeah, I needed to add these to my collection in order to complete my collection actually, because these were the last two books I needed, and I'm so excited to put them on my Robin Hobb shelf and see my whole collection together, because as I mentioned, it's a 16-book series. I've been so invested in this world with these characters, and it's kind of crazy to me that we've finally come to the end of the story. But because these are the last two books in such an expansive series, I can't actually talk too much about these ones in particular, but I do have the first book in the series here, which is Assassin's Apprentice, and in this one we follow a young boy named Fitz who is dropped off at the keep by his maternal grandfather because they can't afford to keep him anymore, and Fitz is actually the bastard born son of the king in waiting. The stable hand Burrich does end up taking Fitz in, and he does raise him for a couple of years until King Shrewd takes notice of him. So Fitz is actually in a really unique position where he does have royal blood, but he isn't considered royalty. He hasn't been acknowledged as such, and so he is also a commoner. King Shrewd decides to use Fitz to his advantage and trains him up to be an assassin. Of course, this story isn't just as simple as that. We have a lot of political issues going on in the kingdom at the time. There is also a lot of drama within the family itself, and it's just all round such an amazing first book, which I'm not going to say more about in case I start to spoil it. If you haven't read any of the books in this series so far, I would highly recommend that you give it a go. This book is definitely a bit harder to get into because it's the first book in such an expansive series, but as soon as you get past the 100-page mark, you will fly through this. You will be so invested, and I guarantee you that you will love it. So I'm very happy to now own the last two books physically, and as soon as I finish filming this video, I'm going to rearrange my Robin Hobb shelf and display these with the rest of those books. Next up, I actually have a trilogy to show you guys, and that is the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Now, I can't remember in which order these go. I believe that the Blade itself is the first book, the second book is Before They Are Hanged, and the third book is Last Argument of Kings. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I really don't know anything about this series, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to disclose the reason why I bought these books in particular, just because I haven't seen an announcement video for it, and I don't want to kind of announce something that shouldn't be public knowledge at this point. But all I will say is that there is a read-along happening for these books soon, and I am of course taking part. This is a series that I have heard so much about. It's another expansive series, but this is the first trilogy in that world, and I did actually win these in a Twitter giveaway, so I didn't buy these myself. They were sent to me because I won a giveaway, and honestly I couldn't believe it. I'm so happy. I was gonna buy these anyway, but I thought I would just enter in case, and what do you know, I actually won something. So yes, I do now have these. I'm so excited to start them, and I think I will actually be getting to the first book very very soon. As I mentioned though, I don't really know too much about this series, so I will read you the synopsis of the first book. It says, Logan Ninefingers, infamous barbarian, has finally run out of luck. Caught up in one feud too many, he's about to become a dead barbarian, leaving nothing behind but bad songs and dead friends. Giselle Luther, paragon of selfishness, has nothing more dangerous in mind than winning glory in the fencing circle. But war is brewing, and on the battlefields of the frozen north, they fight by altogether bloodier rules. Inquisitor Glockta, crippled turned torturer, would like little more than seeing Giselle come home in a box. But then, he hates everyone. Cutting treason out of the heart of the Union, one confession at a time, leaves little room for friendships, and his latest trail of corpses could lead straight to the rotten heart of the government, if he can just stay alive long enough to follow it. Honestly, that is a lot of information for me to take in right now, but I feel like this is going to be another case of me sitting down to read it, getting through about 100 pages, and completely falling in love with the world and the characters. At least that's what I hope will be the case. In all honesty though, I think I'm gonna love this series. Everyone I've seen talk about this series has raved about it, which definitely gives me hope, and I cannot wait to read it as part of this read-along that is happening, so I can chat to people whilst reading along and after finishing the books as well. The next few books I'm going to mention are murder mysteries, and the first of those is Black Coffee by Agatha Christie. Now, I shouldn't really have bought this book, but you guys know me if you've seen some of my previous hauls. When I buy some books from Waterstones, I find it extremely difficult not to buy an Agatha Christie book because they do have some certain editions that I collect, and I'm too scared to order them from anywhere else except Waterstones. So when I was placing an order for some of these books, I did chuck this one in there just because I am slowly adding to my collection. I do have quite a few Agatha Christie books now, and this was the next one that I needed to buy. So this has been adapted as a novel by Charles Osborne, and the synopsis reads, the inventor Sir Cloud Amory is left with a bitter taste in his mouth when the formula for his powerful new explosive is stolen by someone staying in his own house. Seeking a swift remedy, Sir Claude locks the doors and switches off the lights to allow the thief to replace the formula, no questions asked. But the darkness brings death, and Hercule Poirot is left to unravel a tangle of family feuds, old flames and suspicious guests to find the killer and prevent a catastrophe. Because this is a novelisation, I'm not too sure how I'm actually going to feel about this, because I did read The Unexpected Guest, which was adapted as a novel by the same author, and I wasn't too keen on it. It was a good mystery, but I definitely can see how it would be better off as a play. So we'll see with this one. It is a shorter book though, so one day I will just sit down and read it in one sitting. I feel like that is the best way to consume Agatha Christie's books, because if you take too long of a break, I feel like you can forget a lot of details and get quite muddled up in who is who. So this is one that I sneakily added to my haul this month. I am looking forward to getting to it though, even though I am a bit apprehensive, but it definitely won't be soon because I have quite a few books I need to read before this one. So for now, it can just sit on my Agatha Christie shelf until I'm ready to pick it up. The next murder mystery that I have is The Bullet That Missed by Richard Osman, and this is a really cool Waterstones exclusive edition. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that this one is signed. It just said on the sticker then, so I double checked, and yeah, it's a signed edition, which is so cool. I really like Richard Osman. I watched him for years on Pointless. That was one of my family's favourite kind of game shows, so I'm very familiar with Richard Osman, and it's kind of cool to have his signature in a book. Saying that though, I am behind on this series. I haven't yet started the first book, but because I'm a collector and because I wanted a nice special edition, I decided to buy this one as soon as it came out, once again to add it to my collection, but also because I feel like I am going to want to binge these books, and I'm thinking of doing a dedicated reading log for them in November. Because this book is the third in a series, I'm obviously not going to tell you the synopsis for this one in particular, but the first book is The Thursday Murder Club, and it's set in a cozy little retirement village where 4 of our main characters gather together every week to try and solve murder cases. But when a brutal killing takes place at their doorstep, the Thursday Murder Club take it upon themselves to solve this mystery and find themselves in the middle of their first live case. I feel like this is just going to be such a fun series, even though it's kind of gruesome because of the subject matter involved, but I feel like it'll be similar to Miss Marple in the fact that she is from a very quiet village, but she does have an interest in solving crimes and is really good at it. So I feel like that's going to be the same sort of vibe, and honestly, I'm here for it. I'm so excited to get to these, and as I mentioned, hopefully I will be reading them next month, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for a vlog. Next Next up we have a middle grade book, and that is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston. This is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers, which I read last year and absolutely loved. So of course I had to pre-order the Waterstone special edition of this book, which has really nice sprayed edges and again is signed by the author. I'm really annoyed at myself that I haven't picked this one up yet because it's been sat on my shelves throughout the whole month and I've been desperate to read it, but I've just been too overwhelmed with the amount of books I need to read at the minute, and I have been in such a weird reading slump this year anyway, so I didn't want to taint my experience reading this book. I wanted to go into it when I'm actually feeling up to it, so I'm hoping that this will be another one that I can actually get to in November. In the first book, Amari and the Night Brothers, we follow our main character, who is of course Amari, and at the beginning of her book we are informed that her brother Quentin has actually gone missing. No one seems to be looking for him though, which is of course concerning to Amari, so she kind of takes it upon herself to try and figure out what happened to him. One day though, a mysterious briefcase arrives at her door with strict instructions that it's meant for her eyes only. This briefcase proves that there's more to Quentin than she ever knew, and she is suddenly thrust into the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs because Quentin has actually gotten her a tryout for them. This means that she'll have to compete in a set of trials to gain entry into the Bureau, which is going to be a challenge in itself because Amari obviously hasn't grown up knowing about this supernatural world, and she's going to be up against kids who have known about the world and have been training for this specific moment their whole lives. Of course there is more to it than that. There is an evil villain in here that is wreaking havoc upon the supernatural world, and even though Amari is obviously terrified, if she doesn't compete in these trials she might never find out what happened to Quentin. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. It is such an amazing read. I read this book, gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it, and I have been highly anticipating the release of the sequel, so please do give it a go. It's fantastically written. It does also deal with racial topics, which is very informative and is something that definitely needs to be highlighted a lot more, and it's just all around absolutely amazing. So if you haven't picked up this series yet, please go ahead and do so. I promise you won't regret it and you will have the best time reading them. And then whilst we're in the middle grade section, I am going to just show you some books that I actually bought for my niece. So I'm not too sure if you can tell what these are, but they are actually a set of Disney books, and I found these in Aldi of all places, which is a supermarket here in the UK. So here we have Cinderella, then we have Tangled, we have The Little Mermaid, Frozen, Tinkerbell and the Secrets of the Wings, and Beauty and the Beast as well. These were actually the only books that were available at that Aldi, but I have seen that there are a few more in this collection that I desperately want to buy. They are such beautiful books. They essentially just retell the story from the films, but as you can see they have the pictures in there, and I just thought it would be a really nice gift, especially because my niece loves reading and she of course loves Disney as well, so I thought that these would be really amazing presents to gift her, and I'm so excited to see her face when she gets them. I do just want to say that I am mentioning these here because I am planning on buying these for myself as well, because I am debating putting them in my class once I do have a permanent position as a teacher, because I feel like the kids would really enjoy reading these books, and because the majority of them would be familiar with the stories, it would be easier for them to get into them as well. So that's why I've shown them here. I also thought it would be good to know if some of you guys wanted to get these as a Christmas present maybe for someone. Obviously that's my plan with them, or you just wanted to treat yourself as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with these. I think they were £3.99 each in Aldi, but on the back it does say £4.99, so the price may vary in different shops, but I love these. They look really nice as well together. They look quite sleek. You wouldn't necessarily tell that they are Disney, so I just love the overall look of these. Next up we have a Greek myth retelling, and that one is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. Now you can probably tell by the smile on my face that I am so excited to read this book. I've had this pre-ordered ever since I knew about it. It is once again a Waterstone signed exclusive edition, which I actually can't believe that I have a signed book from Natalie Haynes, but this is one that retells the story of Medusa, who is a Gorgon in the Greek myths, and she is someone that I've had a fascination with ever since I started reading about the Greek myths and the different gods, because I just think her story is one that is absolutely insane, and she's classically seen as the bad guy even though awful things were done to her to turn her into who she eventually became. I am going to read you the synopsis for this because I feel like you need to hear it. It says, Medusa is the sole mortal in a family of gods. Growing up with her Gorgon sisters, she begins to realise that she is the only one who experiences change, the only one who can be hurt, and her mortal lifespan gives her an urgency that her family will never know. When the sea god Poseidon commits an unforgivable act in the temple of Athene, the goddess takes her revenge where she can, and Medusa is changed forever. Writhing snakes replace her hair, and her gaze now turns any living creature to stone. The power cannot be controlled. Medusa can look at nothing without destroying it. She is condemned to a life of shadows and darkness, until Perseus embarks upon a quest to fetch the head of a Gorgon. I just cannot wait to read this, you guys. Again, I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet. It's been sat on my shelves all month, but I'm definitely gonna have to read it soon. I just want to experience this story. Natalie Haynes is an author that I've read from before and just absolutely loved her other works. I've read Children of Jocasta and 1,000 Ships by her, and as I mentioned, thoroughly enjoyed both of them, and yeah, I just cannot wait to pick this one up, especially because it focuses around Medusa, who I have just been so interested in learning about. And then the last 3 books I have to show you are subscription box books, which I have actually posted an unboxing for, so if you would like to go and watch that before I show you the special editions, I will have it linked up above and down below for you. But because I filmed an unboxing for these, I'm not going to talk about them too in depth. So the first book I have is Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and for this one it just says, from New York Times bestselling author Adeline Grace, Belladonna brings to life a highly romantic, gothic-infused world of wealth, desire, and betrayal. This is the book that came in the YA Fairy Loot box for September, and I once again am very excited to get to it. I've seen this book around quite a bit lately, and it really does have me intrigued, so I feel like this is another one that I'm hopefully going to get to soon, and it is one that I will hopefully really enjoy. And then in the adult Fairy Loot box, we got Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young, which this edition is just absolutely gorgeous. And again, it says here, from the New York Times bestselling author of Fable, Spells for Forgetting is an evocative, compelling novel of lost love and the unravelling of a small town and its many secrets. So this one is actually a murder mystery, which, as you can tell by the haul, I do love a good murder mystery. This is also one that I have seen nothing but amazing things about. People have started reading it as soon as they got it in their Fairy Loot boxes, and I kid you not, every single person that I've seen tweet about this book has just been raving about it. So it's one that I think I'm gonna pick up this month actually, because I do want to get in on the hype. I want to see why everyone is enjoying it so much, and as I mentioned, a murder mystery is something that I really do enjoy, and it is a pretty short book as well, so hopefully I can get to it pretty soon in the next week or so. And then the last book I'm going to show you guys today is The Book Eaters by Sonia Dean. This is such a pretty copy once again, and the little snippet here says, this is a story of escape, a mother's savage devotion, and a queer love that will electrify readers looking for something beguiling, thrilling, strange, and new. All I know about this one is that we are in a world where people have to consume stories in order to continue living. However, one child is born needing to eat minds, and so his mother tries to take him away from everyone in order to keep him safe. However, nothing is quite that simple, and with every soul this boy consumes, he does actually lose a part of himself. So again, this is one I would love to get to this month because I feel like it would just be the perfect October read. I have filmed my October TBR and I haven't put this on there, but honestly, I think it's gonna have to happen. Again, it's really short, so it shouldn't take me too long to get through, and I just think that this is going to be one that I will fly through and again really enjoy. And there we have it. These are all of the books that I acquired in September. It is definitely a hefty stack and it is almost definitely gonna fall, so I am gonna pop them down. But please do let me know what you thought of the books that I bought, and if you think that there are some that I definitely need to prioritize. In terms of the emoji of the video, I am really struggling to come up with one. So because I have a few high fantasies in there and some murder mysteries, I feel like we should have some sort of weapon or something like that. So if you've made it this far into the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and comment a sword emoji down below. I feel like that'll be pretty fitting, and if you guys don't particularly want to say anything but you'd like to let me know that you're still here, then you can comment that and I will know that you've watched all the way through. As well as that, please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!